Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're going to start working on one of these projects here. It's going to be the TL1000R. Kind of played with it a little bit off camera. I did replace, well, I actually installed the battery. There was no battery, and the starter solenoid. The starter solenoid was staying on. You connect power to it, and it wanted to crank all the time. I picked up the battery and the starter solenoid from eBay. It's all aftermarket cheap stuff. I did take it apart a little bit. Took the airbox off to see what was going on. Everything looks pretty good. This bike does not appear to be touched. So there's really not much done to it, minus the exhaust, which most people do anyway. There are some parts missing. There's a cage here, a little bracket that supports the fairing, and it looks like the steering dampener was taken. It was left outside. First sign of that was I couldn't get the key to work, so I had to break the damn gas lock, which sucks, so I'll have to weld that back up and do something with it. And there was quite a bit of water in the tank. You could see the little rust spots in there. It was nasty. I took the pump out. The pump appears to work, but we won't really know until I actually get good fuel in there and see if it actually generates any pressure. I'm gonna take it apart anyway, clean that filter, and I might just get another pump anyway. And it obviously didn't have a damn seal on it, so I don't know, somebody put some nasty stuff on there. I don't even know what it is, like Dum Dum. It's like a sticky stuff as a seal, because the seal is missing. And yes, that is all from the tank. That is the rust. And then I ended up getting a tip over sensor, because the one the original one that was on there, I did take it apart and the contacts were broke. Once I put the battery to it and turned the power on, I was getting a FI light flashing. So I did the dealer mode, so you literally just jump. This connector is in the tail, it's hidden under there. You just pop it off, and you'll know because it's white, and then it has this cap on it. So you just jump these wires, jump these two terminals, and it brings you into dealer mode. And I was getting a fault code for the tip over sensor, which I fixed, and the not the evap, the atmospheric pressure sensor. So I just disconnected it, checked the wires. I was getting 5 volts to 2 terminals, and then the other one is a signal or a ground. So that is supplying the correct power. So I may just pick up a new atmospheric pressure sensor, better known as MAP. But otherwise, I think the rest of it is good. I did crank it and nothing happened. It just kept cranking and cranking. It just kept cranking and cranking with no signs of firing. Obviously I don't have the tank and the fuel pump connected, so I was just running a little brake clean down the throttle bodies to see if it would fire up. It didn't, absolutely nothing. So I pulled the spark plug out of the rear cylinder, and here it is. It's old, it's nasty. So I connected the spark plug into the coil wire here and touched it to ground. Cranked it over. Sorry about that, guys. It's hard to do this with one hand. And you can see there's nothing there. So just to rule out the spark plug, I did put a known good spark plug in there, which is it's in the cylinder now. So I'll see if I have another one so I can show you guys. All right, I just have a good spark plug laying there, and this is a new E3 spark plug. It's obviously not for this bike, but we just want to touch the contacts there and see if we can get spark here. And boom, there it goes. It was sparking. So that's usually how I diagnose. We're doing simple diagnosis here. We're not getting crazy. You know, the rule of thumb, when I was in school at UTI, the pretty much electrical diagnosis rule was KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And till today, that is what I do. You know, you don't want to tear into everything and start destroying everything before you do the basics. So the first thing I did was I checked all the fuses in there, making sure none of them were blown, and then went into dealer mode to see if there was any faults. There was faults. Fault led me to the MAP sensor, atmospheric pressure sensor, or whatever you want to call it. This is probably atmospheric, since it's no, it is manifold. It's going down into the intake here, into the throttle body, so it's a MAP sensor. And and then I went from there. It got it to crank, but got nothing out of it. So next step was spark plugs. Make sure it had spark. It did not have spark. Check the spark plugs, and the spark plugs are known bad. So that little swap there, most people assume spark plugs are good. If they don't see spark, boom, that's the first indication right there. This doesn't happen very often where the spark plug is dead. It's most likely cracked on the inside or grounded out somewhere to the side here, and it won't jump. So it's probably sparking. It's just going right to ground to where you can't see it. So I'm gonna get a set of plugs for this thing, but as of right now, I have not messed with the front cylinder. So I'll pull the plug on the front cylinder, but I want to show you the difference here between a bad spark plug and a good one, of course. So before we couldn't get anything out of it, so now I'm gonna do a little 1-2 step here, holding the clutch. And there we go. It started right up on that back cylinder. The front cylinder is not firing, so I'm gonna pull that spark plug out in the front now. All right, the front cylinder is a little harder to get to. Got to take some panels off here. In the process of taking the panel off, this is what I found. So someone decided to make a on-off switch for the cooling temp sensor, which kicks on the fan. So don't do this, guys. This is not right, because all it takes is one stupid time where you're not paying attention and you literally forget to turn the damn fan on, and boom, that's all she wrote. You just damaged your engine. So I'm not sure. I mean, it looks like they tapped into it so the sensor would still work, but this is just don't do it. It's simple as that. If you If you got a bad sensor, replace it. If you got a bad fan, replace it. This is this is just something that where you don't want to mess with the cooling system of the bike. Thought I'd show you this because I see this quite often. Most of the time, it's the switch is actually, or the sensor is bypassed, and literally the only thing. Sorry about that. My daughter interrupted me. Where was I? So this particular system, I see quite a bit where the switch is actually bypassed. The cooling sensor is bypassed, so it will not turn on at offhand. I think it's like 210 or 220, and somebody wants the sensor on. So just don't do it. What it boils down to. All right, after about an hour of fighting, I was able to get that spark plug out. There is, you got to pretty much take the radiator assembly and take the 4 or 5 10 millimeter bolts out, and then just slide it down so you can access the spark plug. This one appears to have spark. The front one is working, so I'm gonna. It's hard to do this without. You can see it. It's intermittent, so that spark plug is toast. I mean, these plugs probably never been changed. I don't know how many miles are on the bike, so the gauge cluster is definitely been replaced. The title shows, I don't know, 40-something thousand from back in '09, so who knows how many miles it actually has on it. So let's clean this one up. I'm gonna put this spark plug back in just to see if it'll fire over in that cylinder, but we will definitely get new plugs. Alright, I got the spark plug back in. I'll head to the hardware store later and grab some spark plugs. Put a little brake clean in. Don't go crazy with the brake clean, because the brake clean will wash the cylinders down if the bike does not fire up. The FI light came back on, so it runs. Not good, but we got it started. So it's that atmospheric sensor is probably shot and it doesn't know what to do. There we go. That was nice. All right, so that'll wrap it up for this video, because at this point I got to get a bunch of parts for it. One of being that map sensor, or atmospheric temperature, or atmospheric sensor, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Sometimes they're called maps, sometimes they're called barometric pressure sensors. They can be, I guess, any one of the two. The barometric would measure outside atmospheric pressure, and then the map sensor would be measuring intake manifold pressure or vacuum. But that's it. We got it running. My investment, it was a risk. I mean, anytime you buy something not running, it's not like the sellers are going to let you rip apart the bike in their driveway or garage and diagnose it or toss a compression gauge on it. So this one sounds good. Looks like it's gonna run, and excuse me, we'll get it running. All right, see you guys next time.